Alright, looks like I have some time to actually fly with the bright light today. And as expected yesterday, when you try to film with cameras that can't really handle low light that well, that's what happens. It gets grainy like when you try to shoot it in a too high of an ISO. Even with that Mavic shot, I had to shoot that with a shutter speed of 1/30th. And thank you guys for all the 1,000 congrats. What I was interested in actually with that is how I can actually do things better. Funny enough, for some reason it unlocked new stuff like for live streaming and all that. I was wondering if I could actually use it for something that I actually read today. So as you guys know, like for here in Canada, we don't have that much time left to give public input about the proposed drone regulations and all that. So I was reading today, apparently Transport Canada are holding some sessions around like cities in the country to talk about safety with things like the drones and how they came up with the proposed laws. So it's supposed to, I guess, encourage some kind of discussion with it. So it says here, in support of the new regulatory framework from unmanned aircraft systems published in Canada Gazette Part 1, July 14th, etc., etc., they're hosting a series of stakeholder engagement sessions in select cities across the country from August 1st to October the 3rd. And as indicated, it says these sessions will focus on TC's risk-based approach to regulating UAS 25 kilograms or less that operate within visual line of sight. Each session will comprise of a briefing by TC officials on the department's work in support of the UAS sector, the new regulatory framework, and an open discussion with TC departmental officials, followed by a question and answer period. I'll place the link below, but apparently there's a bunch of cities, including Vancouver, so I was actually thinking of attending to do this. Now you do have to fill up a form and register, and they actually ask you things like, what do you think are the 3 items that they should focus on? And there's one category for other. You know, there's so many things to talk about, I don't really know what should the top 3 priorities be. I know one of them for other, I said there should be a better distinction, like a more modern day way of saying, well, this is commercial and that's recreational, because at the moment, like, everything is commercial. Like, even with things like, you know, people just fly like something like those model aircrafts just doing flips, that's commercial. You need an SFOC, like that's ridiculous. But at the same time, you took a footage of something and just because, I don't know, you share it somewhere, that's commercial. So I think they need to improve on stuff like that personally. Although it makes me wonder if that relates to what they're going to talk about here, because they said safety, like risk, like would they consider that stuff like safety related? So it made me think again, like bringing it back to like that live streaming thing, like maybe I was thinking like maybe I should if I could, like I don't know if I can, if I have the bandwidth for it to do that in real time, but maybe I should live stream it for everyone else who can't attend it. At the same time, if you guys have any questions or ideas for that, I was just thinking, feel free to write it in the comments below, because if I get to attend the event, then maybe I'll try to ask it on your guys' behalf as well. And I would imagine it'd be good for anybody, like anyone that has expertise in this or interesting questions, because I don't think it has to be limited to like Canada in general, because I'm sure people from all around the world have questions that would make sense in terms of what should be asked and to see how they answer it. Because it should give you a better idea too around the world on how regulators, like in general, like they feel about the tech. Actually, funny enough, my vlogging camera has a live streaming feature, but it doesn't support YouTube live streaming. It only supports like another platform, which is kind of weird. So I'd have to use my phone if I did that. I was even thinking in my mind, maybe I should hook up the phone to the Mavic Pro and try the live stream with the Mavic Pro, because I actually never tried that with the drone. I then read this one article about drones today, which kind of caught my attention because it dealt with, I guess you could say like a hiker, a guy that goes climbing and so forth to get like those views, like of the mountains. And this guy was saying he wanted drones, I guess, like gone in a sense. And this is from like a big open place, not like within a city or anything like that. It's actually funny I saw and heard that because it actually relates to this article. Now I believe this is in the UK, so I'm not really familiar with what the hiking trail or whatever you want to call it is like. But like the guy says here, it whizzed around the boulders, sped over the lock, then hovered in close to film me like the world's most annoying midge. The high-pitched whine of its 4 rotors, ripping right through the spell of this place, ringed by the mighty cliffs, cast on climbers. I looked around for a rock to chuck. So in a nutshell, it's basically he felt that he climbed up there, walked up there or whatever. He wanted to enjoy the vast scenery just to see like this drone or whatever, like to him, and it spoils it for him, like get out of my sight, like this is supposed to be my reward. So with that, he actually talks about the UK laws, like the new proposed one where it forces people to do safety tests and all that. But according to him, he says, but I would like to see regulations extended further He then continues with saying, my worry is that with drone sales booming and there being no apparent curb on their use in our wild places, the experience I had on Psych was not an annoying blip but the start of a dreadful trend. And according to him, this is what he would have said to the drone flyer if I guess he wasn't, quote, more polite, I guess you can say. It says, I take real exception to you flying that here. How dare you inflict this on climbers out to enjoy this fabulous place? How can you possibly justify turning these hills into an airstrip? Thinking. How dare those people ride those in the water? How dare all these kids congest the whole track? How dare someone like me film the animals? Like, obviously this is just an opinion piece, but it makes me think how, like, with things like drones and safety, it's probably more along the lines for people like this, where they're using that more as an excuse just to ground people because they hate it personally for whatever reason. Like here, like the guy wants the whole space for himself. Although generally speaking, if you're telling me the person flew his drone like right in front of your face, circling around you specifically, then that's a little different, but that doesn't sound like the case just from what I'm reading here anyways. In regards to the other guy's comment about saying like how could people justify flying a drone, I guess up in the mountains and all that, like disturbing the peace or whatever you want to call it for everyone else. I mean, just like everyone else, for me, it's about capturing like memories. And at the same time, I would say for things like a drone, like it's been out of reach for the average person in general. I mean, how else would you have got a video or picture of that normally? Pay some guy $1,000 or more to fly this huge helicopter to get that, whereas now people can do it, you know, with a consumer drone. Aside from that too, it's actually a form of, for me anyways, personally, a form of documentation. Like, you never know, maybe tomorrow that landscape will be completely different for whatever reason. Now what are you gonna say when no one's captured any kind of footage for it? I mean, to me, it benefits like everyone in that way as well. Actually, it reminds me too of that video I created for the contest where I say, these perspectives aren't just for me. I capture them for all to see. Same thing here. Like for me anyways, like I recognize there's so many people that don't have the opportunity to live like, you know, in the same area to get the views. So my opinion, I'm sharing a piece of that with everyone else as well. So it's not just for me. You might say that's stupid, but you tell that to the guy that has no legs, for example, or the person that has some kind of inability to actually get up there. I mean, don't think about yourself, in my opinion. I mean, it benefits everyone for people that do that. I actually encourage people to try to do it, like obviously in a safe way. Like I said, it's one thing if the guy was flying his drone right in front of your face, like it's no different from my camera. I mean, if the guy is going up to you, putting it right in front of your face while you're up there, that's completely different versus them just trying to capture the scenery. I mean, I could argue they're just trying to capture whatever, the clip or whatever, and you were in the way, but I didn't see them going up to you and say, hey, get out of my shot, because it's a public space. It also reminds me of the time, like even when I go to hikes with people who've never seen a drone before, at first they actually have that kind of mentality. Get that thing out of the sky. I'm here to enjoy the view and I hear all this buzzing sound. But like for some people, it wasn't until I showed them like the videos and they see it, then they start to realize, wow, this is great. Now afterwards, when they see a drone, they have a different perspective of it. They're like, okay, I know the type of footage they're capturing and it'll be wonderful afterwards. So I guess again, it's just about trying to get the tech out there more. You know, if I didn't actually fly a drone, I would have thought it'd be the other way around normally. Like the concern's more about the drone flyers saying, hey, you all get out of my way because I'm filming here. It just seems like it's the other way around, whereas most people say, no, I'm walking here or whatever, I'm in this mountain, you get out of the way. For some reason, I have more rights to this public space. Learn to share. Maybe this will be a little controversial, but I would say kind of in relation to that article, like saying like the person fears it's going to be like, you know, hundreds of drones or flying things in the air. Maybe it'll be better if there's a restriction, like a park there. Like I can imagine if there's like say 30 people, okay, flying like a drone in a park or whatever, then obviously that is a major safety concern. Like maybe there's should be some kind of regulation on that, on how many can be at the air at the same time. Otherwise you'd have to get it, I don't know, somehow like a pre-approved event. I think it's no different than when people gather up like in a certain place. If there's too many people, it officially becomes like an event that you have to register with the city and all. That actually happened with this Pokemon game, funny enough. I know like here when it first came out, people wanted like to do a gathering at the huge park like in the downtown, but because there were so many people registered, the city immediately came in and said, nope, you can't do this because it's an official event or whatever. So eventually people were like, sorry, we can't formally have this meetup or whatever, just because yeah, there's too many people. All right, let's see what we can get today now that there's more light in the bright day. That was kind of funny actually with the that vehicle I just saw, because again, like, to me, I don't expect a vehicle to actually go by, but it makes me wonder like what would happen there technically, because I'm supposed to be 30 meters away from the vehicle, correct? And to me, again, it just comes down to common sense. I mean, it's one thing if someone's flying the drone into like the busy traffic to get footage, that's one thing. But how about like here, for example, I thought it was open field safe, then all of a sudden like this vehicle comes in. So who's at fault there, as an example? More common sense. Anyways, see you guys later.